Alright, hey guys, what's up? It's another Monday, and you know what that means? It's another Murderous Monday. And this time, and I talk about serial killers, and I upload every Monday, hence the name. And the next serial killer, now remember, last week that I said that that the hint was that it was a set of brothers that killed their parents to get their life insurance, and then spent it, either some or most of it or all of it, whatever, on courtside seats for the New York Knicks game, and then they only got found because of a basketball player from the Knicks, Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson's basketball card was actually had the two brothers in, like, the fans, like, in the crowd of the basketball card. And if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, it's a 2-for-1 special, cause it's brothers. It's the Menendez Brothers. Who were they? Well, they're obviously still alive, but this is like my intro. Who were they? What were their early lives like, and why and how did they become so evil? I'll answer that more in this video as I take you down the prospective minds of two killers. They are technically not serial killers because they only murdered 2 people, but 2 people were actually their parents, but they're still murderers. Joseph Lyle Menendez, born January 10th, 1968, and Eric Gallon Mendez, born November 27th, 1970, are American brothers who were convicted in 1996 for the murders of their parents, Jose and Mary Louise, aka Kitty Menendez. During their trial, the brothers stated that they committed the murders out of fear that their father would kill them after they threatened to expose him for years of sexual, emotional, and physical abuse. The prosecution argued that they did it to inherit their father's multi-million-dollar estate. They were first tried separately, with one jury for each brother. However, both juries deadlocked, which resulted in a mistrial. For the second trial, they were tried together by a single jury that found them guilty. They were sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Now, if you guys, I should have said this in the intro. Now, if you guys, I actually should write this in the intro. Now, if you guys do not want to talk, if you guys do not want to hear about, killing or anything, right? It doesn't matter, rape, anything. I don't think they raped anybody, but, I don't think they tortured anybody. I think they just mainly just killed. Their parents. But obviously, if you don't want to hear about killing, I'd say get off this video and take care of yourself. And now that we're back, the background of the Menendez brothers. Jose Enriquez Menendez was born on May 6th, 1944 in Havana, Cuba. At age 16, shortly after the end of the Cuban Revolution, he moved to the U.S. Jose attended Iowa. Yeah, Iowa's not the way it spells. That's not the sound of what it spells. Illinois. Sorry, not Iowa. Illinois. I'm literally looking at it, and I say Iowa. Jose attended Southern Illinois University, where he met Mary Louise, aka Kitty, Anderson, who was born 1941 to 1989. See, so they were both dead in 1989, obviously, because that's the year that they killed them. They got married in 1963 and moved to New York City, where Jose earned an accounting degree from Queens College. Their couple's first son, Joseph Lyle, who goes by his middle name, Lyle, was born on January 10th, 1968, in New York. Kitty quit her teaching job after Lyle was born, and the family moved to New Jersey, where Eric Gallen was born on November 27th, 1970, in Gloucester Township. Gloucester Township. The family lived in Hopewell Township, and both brothers attended Princeton Day School. In the summer of 1976, Lyle and Eric's cousin, Diane Vander Molen, came to stay with them. She stated Lyle confessed to her that he was being sexually abused by his father. Vander Molen told Kitty what Lyle had said, but Kitty sided with her husband and said that Lyle was lying. Diane, right, the cousin, recalls that afterward Kitty put Lyle upstairs, and that was the last Diane heard of the claim. In 1986, Jose's career as a corporate executive had joined the company then known as the International Video Entertainment. But Jose's career as a corporate executive took the family to Beverly Hills, California. The following year, Eric attended Beverly Hills High School. Wow, rich high school. Which is also where Beverly Hills 90210 was filmed, probably. But yeah, anyway. The following year, Eric attended Beverly Hills High School, where he earned average grades but displayed a remarkable talent for tennis, ranking 44th in the U.S. as a junior. Wow, that's pretty impressive. About 2 weeks before the murders, Eric and his friend Michael Joyce entered the 1989 Boys' Junior National Tennis Championship. Eric reached the second round of qualifying in the boys' 18 singles, while Joyce reached the quarterfinals. Lyle attended Princeton University but was placed on academic probation for poor grades, and eventually was eventually suspended for plagiarism. Now I go to the crimes. Dun dun dun! On the evening of August 20th, 1989, Jose and Kitty the parents were standing in the den of their Beverly Hills mansion when Lyle and Eric entered the den carrying shotguns. Jose was shot 6 times, including a fatal shot in the back of the head with a Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun. Kitty was shot 10 times in total. Before the fatal shot to her cheek, she was on the ground, slowly crawling and crying. Lyle ran to his car and to reload before firing the fatal shot to her face. Immediately after the killings, both brothers remained in the house, expecting the police to respond due to the noise of the shotguns. I guess that the police was close by. When the police arrived, the brothers told them that the killings had occurred when they were at a movie theater watching Batman, attending the Taste of LA Festival and at the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium. Now, obviously, you know that's going to be a lie because they can. I doubt they had gloves on when they did the shotguns. If they did, they didn't say it, but DNA traces can go back to the Menendez brothers. The police did not seek gunshot residue tests from the brothers. Yeah, see this next sentence. The police did not seek shotgun residue tests from the brothers, which would have indicated whether they had recently discharged a firearm. In the months after the killings, the brothers began to spend extravagantly on luxurious items, businesses, and travel. Lyle bought Chuck's Spring Street Cafe in a Buffalo Wings restaurant in Princeton, New Jersey, as well as a Rolex watch and a Porsche Carrera. Eric hired a full-time tennis coach and competed in a series of tournaments in Israel. The brothers eventually left Beverly Hills mansion unoccupied, choosing to live in adjoining condominiums, so condos, in nearby Marina del Rey. They also dined expensively and took overseas trips to the Caribbean and London. Collectively, they spent approximately $700,000 before their arrests. And now you gotta understand, $700,000. I know it's back then, but back in '89, right? That's the '80s. That's probably about $1 million in today's time, maybe even more. Family members later disputed a connection between their spending and the murder of their parents, claiming that there were no changes in their spending habits after the killings. At one point, now this is where it gets, At one point, they attended a New York Knicks basketball game, which became immortalized when they appeared courtside in the background of Mark Jackson's trading card. See, I said Mark Johnson. I said it was Mark Jackson. During the early stages of the investigation, police tried to narrow their search to suspects who had motives to kill Jose and Kitty, and also investigated potential mob leads. As the investigation continued, they began to suspect the brothers were the most likely perpetrators due to the obvious financial motive and their exorbitant spending after the killings. In an attempt to get a confession from Eric, police arranged for his friend Craig Signorelli to wear a wire during lunch with Eric at a local beachfront restaurant. When Signorelli asked Eric whether he had killed his parents, Eric denied it. Eric eventually confessed to his psychologist, Jerome Oziel, who then told his mistress, Judalon Smith. Oziel later broke up with Smith. In a fight of rage, she told the police about the brothers' involvement. Okay, so now the secret's out. Well, so-called secret. Lyle was arrested on March 8th, 1990, and Eric turned himself in 3 days later after returning to Los Angeles from Israel from the tournament matches in Israel. Remember, the tennis matches. Both were held without bail and jailed separately. In August 1990, Judge James Albrecht ruled that tapes of the conversations between Eric and Oziel were admissible evidence, since Oziel stated that Lyle threatened him and violated doctor-patient privileges. Albrecht's ruling was appealed, after which the proceedings were delayed for 2 years. The Supreme Court of Californication. The Supreme Court of California ruled in August 1992 that most of the tapes were admissible, with the exception of the tape on which Eric discussed the murders. After that decision, in a Los Angeles county, and a grand jury issued indictments in December 1992, charging the brothers with the murders of their parents. Now we go to trials. Wow, this is a long one. I think that's what she said, yeah. The Menendez case became a national sensation when Court TV broadcasted the trials in '93, represented by their defense lawyer, Leslie Abraham. The brothers stated that they killed their parents out of fear for their lives after a lifetime of abuse at the hands of their parents, especially sexual abuse at the hands of their father, who was described as a cruel perfectionist and pedophile. Meanwhile, their mother was described as an enabling, selfish, mentally unstable alcoholic and drug addict who encouraged her husband's behavior and was also violent toward the brothers. The allegations against the couple were supported by the testimony of 2 family members. The brothers' cousin, Andy Cano, said that as a child, Eric told him about the sexual abuse, which they both described as penis massages. And then Diane Vandermolen, which was the cousin that we discussed earlier of the brothers, stated that she once told Kitty about Jose's molestation of Lyle, although Kitty told her that it was false, that it was a lie, that Lyle was lying. As physical evidence, the defense presented a photograph of Lyle and Eric's genitalia, allegedly taken by their father when they were children. The prosecution argued that the killings were done for financial gain. This theory was disputed by the defense team, which claimed that the brothers did not think that they were getting an inheritance. Lyle's prosecutor, Pam Bozanich, argued that men could not be raped because the lack of necessary equipment to be raped. Eric testified that a couple of weeks before the night of the killings, he told his brother about the sexual abuse he was experiencing, which led to several confrontations within the family. The brothers also testified that their father threatened to kill them if they did not keep the abuse secret. They claimed the last confrontation happened inside their home's den on August 20th, 1989, the same time that they killed the parents. A few minutes before Kitty and Jose were killed, it says. The brothers stated that their father closed the den's doors, which were unusual, paranoid and afraid that they would be killed by their own parents. Lyle and Eric went outside to load their shotguns. Eric stated, "As I went into the room, I just started firing." The trial ended with 2 deadlocked juries. As a result, Los Angeles District Attorney Gil Garetti immediately announced that the brothers would be retired. Wait, we tried. The second trial was somewhat less publicized, in part because Judge Stanley Weisberg did not allow cameras in the courtroom. During the second trial, Weisberg, relying upon a legal decision by the Supreme Court in an unrelated case, limited testimony about the sexual abuse claims and did not allow the jury to vote on manslaughter charges instead of murder charges. Both brothers were eventually convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Obviously, they committed the murder, so it wouldn't be a real conspiracy. In the penalty phase of the trial, they were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The jury noted the abuse defense was not a factor in its deliberations, but it decided not to impose the death penalty because the brothers had no prior criminal records or history of violence. However, unlike the juries in the previous trials, the jury in the penalty phase rejected the defense's theory that the brothers killed their parents out of fear and believed that they committed the killings in order to inherit their father's wealth. During the penalty phase, Abraham, Leslie Abraham. So, Leslie Abraham apparently told defense witness William Vicari to edit his own notes, but the district attorney's office decided to not launch a criminal investigation of Abraham. Both brothers also filed motions for a mistrial, claiming that they suffered irreversible damage in the penalty phase as a result of possible misconduct and ineffective representation of Abraham. On July 2nd, 1996, Weisberg sentenced the brothers to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, to be served as consecutive sentences for the killings and the charges of conspiracy to commit murder. Now, incarceration. As in their pretrial detention, the California Department of Corrections separated the brothers and sent them to different prisons, since they were considered to be maximum security inmates. They were segregated from other prisoners. They remained in separate prisons until February 2018, when Lyle was moved from Mule Creek State Prison to the Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility, where they were housed in separate units. Eric also spent some time in Pleasant Valley Prison, which was never pleasant, and Coalinga, California. On April 4th, 2018, Lyle was moved into the same housing unit as Eric, reuniting them for the first time since they began serving their sentences, nearly 22 years earlier. The brothers burst into tears and hugged each other at their first meeting in the housing unit. The unit where they were housed is reserved for inmates who agree to participate in education and rehabilitation programs without creating disruptions. Now we go to appeals. On February 27th, 1998, the California Court of Appeal upheld the brothers' murder convictions, and on May 28th, 1998, the Supreme Court of California declined to review the case, thus allowing the decision of the appellate court to stand. Appellate court to stand. Both brothers filed I don't know how to say this, but habeas corpus petitions with the Supreme Court of California, which were denied in 1999, having exhausted their appeal remedies in state California. I'm sorry, in state court. They filed separate habeas corpus petitions in the United States District Court. Now, on March 4th, 2003, a magistrate judge recommended the denial of petitions, and the district court adopted the recommendation. The brothers then decided to appeal to the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. On September 7th, 2005, a 3-judge panel denied both their habeas corpus petitions. Although Judge Alex Kozinski noted that the trial judge changed many of his rulings during the 2 trials. In May 2023, so just not even a year ago, the brothers filed documents seeking a new hearing based on newly discovered evidence purporting to show that their father had also molested boy band member Roy Rossellio. Specifically, on Tuesday, April 18th, 2023, on a segment of the Today Show about an upcoming docuseries, Roy stated that he had been drugged and raped by Jose Menendez, the father, when he was visiting the Menendez's New Jersey home, only at the age of 14. Now, marriage and interviews in prison. Yeah, you heard that right. Marriages in prison. Alright. On July 2nd, 1996, Lyle married Anna Erickson at a ceremony attended by Leslie Abraham and his aunt Marta Menendez, officiated by Judge Nancy Brown. But they divorced only 5 years later on April 1st, 2001, after Erickson discovered that Lyle was allegedly cheating on her with another woman. In November 2003, Lyle married Rebecca Sneed at a ceremony in a visiting area of Mule Creek State Prison. They had known each other for around 10 years before their engagement. So 1993. So literally, before he actually got tried as a prisoner, after he killed his parents, he actually had met Rebecca Sneed. On June 12th, 1999, Eric married Tammy Ruth Saccoman at Folsom State Prison. Folsom Blues. Johnny Cash. In a prison waiting room. Tammy later stated, Our wedding cake was a Twinkie. We improvised. It was a wonderful ceremony until I had to leave. That was a very lonely night. In an October 2005 interview with ABC News, she described her relationship with Eric as something I've dreamed about for a long time. And it's just something very special that I never thought I would ever have. In 2005, Saccoman self-published a book called They Said We'd Never Make It, My Life with Eric Menendez. But she said on CNN's Larry King Live rest in peace, Larry King. That Eric also did a lot of editing on the book. In an interview with People magazine, she stated, "Not having sex in my life is difficult, but it's not a problem for me. I have to be emotionally attached, and I'm emotionally attached to Eric. My family does not understand where it started to get serious. Some of them just threw up in their hands." Sackelman also stated that she and her daughter drove 150 miles or 240 kilometers every weekend to visit Eric, and that her daughter refers to her dad as Earth Dad. Discussing his life sentence, Eric stated, "Tammy is what gets me through. I can't think about the sentence. When I do it with a great sadness and a primal fear. I break into a cold sweat. It's so frightening. I just haven't come to terms with it." In 2010, A&E released Mrs. Menendez, a documentary about Sackelman. In late 2017, A&E aired a 5-part documentary titled The Menendez Murders. Eric Tells All, in which Eric describes by telephone, the murders and the aftermath. The series also shows never-before-seen photos and new interviews with prosecutors, law enforcement, close family and friends, and medical experts. So, that was it for the Menendez brothers. Hold on a second. I am going to look at my serial killer list to see who I'm going to talk about next. Okay. Alright. This guy who he murdered, I forgot the woman's name, but he murdered this woman, Aiden, and now if you don't want to hear about cannibalism, get off this video now, please. But, okay, so this Chinese, Japanese, whatever guy, maybe Korean, I don't know, he was fantasizing about this woman for over 30 years, and then finally cut her up and ate her. And literally, he's still seen in the public eye as a famous person. And he's not even in jail. Alright, now if you guys know who I'm talking about, please write it down in the comments. If I'll let you do comments, I don't know. Alright, so that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.